Just a summary, right? Number one, I accept my full risk by not averaging up on the short. Number two, I accept my full risk by not moving my stop and leaving it be. How's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to week 6 of our trading journey in the year 2024. Just a quick disclaimer, this is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. What I want to talk about today is full risk, accepting your full risk. And with trading, you hear that a lot about risk management. And I want to talk about a scenario that I had today. It was a losing trade, and that's why I'm putting a microscope on this a little bit more to focus on it. And I want to see what your take is on full risk. So with this trade, I entered at this line right here. So this vertical line that you can see, I did go short at this time and my average was 38,725. So you can see that by this white line. And it's obviously a bad entry. But the reasoning for entering or exiting, that's not what I want to discuss today. I want to discuss about risk management. So normally when after I enter, I do end up having a bracket for my stop loss and my limit to exit. So with this one, let's just say roughly I had a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I had a stop right about there and I had a limit right about there. So again, I'm short on this position, so I want it to go down for me to make profit. And as you can see from this trade, I was underwater for most of it, right? I actually had maybe 2 opportunities. One opportunity right here to break even, and then a second opportunity right here to break even as well. So as I mentioned, my stop is up here. So this is my stop. And my limit is down in the bottom because I am shorting. So let me ask you this. When you trade and you are underwater, so let's say the scenario right here. When you are underwater here, what do you do? What do you then do? Knowing that this is your full risk up here, what do you do when you have this situation right here? In the past, when I was trading earlier, what I would normally do is I would average up. And that is something that I've tried to get out of my system at this point, because with my risk, I try to accept my full risk. And what is my full risk? My full risk is right here, because I accepted that before I entered the trade. I knew that I was willing to let it go to drawdown up to this amount, and at that point, that's where I would stop. So number one problem that I used to have was I used to average up when I'm shorting or average down when I'm going long. So I've done my best to get that out of my system. But once in a while, I still do that because I am human. But that's one thing that I would recommend that you should improve on if you are struggling with your trading. The next one is number 2. The number 2 is this top right here. I used to move my stop. So that's another error number 2 with not accepting my risk. So now I'm more disciplined on that. I do not move my stop anymore. I leave it alone because, again, I accepted my full risk. And if somehow I was wrong and I did it hit that stop, I already knew it was predetermined. And ideally, that shouldn't affect how emotionally how I feel. However, that's still something that is a work in progress for me, because even though I've accepted this risk and I do get stopped out, after that, I end up being depressed or try to win it back. So that's something I'm working on, and that's just a weakness that I want to definitely improve on. It's just a summary, right? Number 1, I accept my full risk by not averaging up on the short. Number 2, I accept my full risk by not moving my stop and leaving it be. That's how I matured a little bit in trading, because I am accepting my full risk. Now you'll probably ask right here, right? These 2 points right here where I could have broke even. It just moved too quickly. So unfortunately, it moved too quickly. And ideally, since I've been underwater a lot, I could have moved that stop. But this was a unique situation because my biggest mistake today, I didn't have a full day of trading. I knew that I had to leave, so I ended up forcing a trade before I had to leave. So it was around, let's see, it was around this time right here. So from this point on, I was no longer in front of my computer. So that's a bad thing. So that's my other mistake. Make sure you don't force a trade, because a trade should come to you as much as possible. It's harder if you're trading part-time. That's really difficult. But for myself, trading full-time, I really have, entire day, entire evening to let the trade come to me. But unfortunately, I had errands to do today, so in reality, I should have adjusted for that. So that was my mistake. But anyway, I wanted to run through that because I wanted to explain to you how I accept my full risk, and I'm also curious how you would manage this situation. I want to talk about how we're doing with the funding firm so far, or prop firm. So I am involved in two. The first one is Topstep right here. So this one is an XFA, or Express Funded Account. I have $59.18 on this account. And I'll run through what my progress was this week. I'll show you my Excel sheet to show you how I track my progress. So with this one, if you've been following my live, I try to go through the explanation on how it works. But after 5 days of $200 or more, you can withdraw 50% of what you've earned. So that's for Topstep. And the other one right here, I have 3 PAs. So this is with Apex. So PA is a performance account. I have 2 new ones here. You can see 50,000 is the starting balance. And with this one, essentially, I need to get to 52,600 and a minimum 10 days before I can withdraw some money. Unfortunately, I did make a little mistake here today. Just, talking about accepting my full risk earlier. But I won't go through that so much. I just wanted to show you where we're at right now, and I want to do an update next week. I'm going to go back to my Friday weekly on how we're doing on our performance. All right, so I want to show you how I'm tracking my progress on the XFA for the Topstep Express Funded Account, where I can withdraw the money. And right now we are at week number 6. And on week 6, you can see our starting was 0 because that was the balance we started with. And our ending is $59.18. So not much to show on this side, but I'll expand a little bit more in this area once we have more data to look at. So essentially, with our running total, I'm hoping every week we can see green weeks on here to a point that we will have money that we can withdraw and continue to dream of full-time trading. All right, so I'm gonna show you on the right here on how I'm tracking this. So with the Topstep, you can have up to 3 XFAs. Right now I have 1, which is what I'm tracking right here. There's a second one that I'm working on to pass, and I haven't decided yet if I want to pursue a third one. We'll see. I need withdrawals first before I try to get the max number of accounts. And for this week, if you've been following my content on social media, you saw on the first day I had a nice $216.40 profit. Second day, nice $310.10, and today accepted my full risk, right? Accepted my full risk, and I lost $467.32. And that's totally okay, because after I lost that trade, I stopped trading for the rest of the day. And I couldn't anyway because I was away from my computer, and I no longer trade on my mobile phone because that's been problematic in the past. So when you add all these values up, that's our total for this week, $59.18. Nothing to brag about, but you know what? I'm gonna celebrate every win that I can get. Anyway, I just want to give everyone an update on how I'm doing. Hopefully next week, come by and maybe we can have a better progress to share. All right, y'all have a good one. If you didn't like what you saw today, give me another chance, and hopefully on the next content, you'll like what you see. All right, have a good one.